What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Chuds BBQ. My name is Bradley Robinson, and today I'm going to show you how I made this. Beautiful, delicious, fresh, seared, juicy, amazing steaks of the sea. That's right, folks, we got ourselves some nice juicy swordfish, some seared tuna, and some salmon steaks covered with a piccata sauce. Coming up! These are some steaks. Pat them dry. And what I got here is some beautiful seafood steaks. We've got a tuna steak looking nice and fresh. Love the color on that. We've also got a swordfish steak, which looks a lot like a New York strip. It's got the skin on there as well, which I don't think we're gonna eat, but I'll probably leave it on there for the cooking process. Maybe pull it off at the end just to make sure this thing stays together. And then we've got some salmon steaks. These are bone-in, just kind of cross-cut of the whole salmon itself. And these should be very tasty on the grill. And that's because summer is in full swing. And one of my favorite things to do, and what we do a lot down here at the Chud shop, is to fire up the grill and throw on a bunch of seafood. You know, it's a little less heavy, good in the heat, and there's a whole bunch of options. Not to mention a super quick cook for a very tasty meal, and perfect for summertime grilling. And we're gonna season these all up a little bit differently, starting with the tuna steak. And for the tuna, we're gonna do a quick marinade, nothing too long. Going in with some soy sauce, about a cup, as well as a few dashes of some sesame oil. A little bit goes a long way with this stuff. As well as a squeeze of some wasabi. Oops. And get that all mixed up. And then in with our beautiful piece of fish here. And we're not gonna do a full marinade, maybe 45 minutes, an hour. And I'm gonna flip it a couple times just to make sure we get maximum coverage. So in the fridge, this goes. As for our swordfish here, because this is a pretty steak-like fish, looks the most like a steak anyway, we're gonna go down with some good old-fashioned Chuds BBQ steak rub. It just makes sense. Nice healthy coating, a lot of good pepper in there, good salt, and some other umami boosting flavors. Top and bottom, and please, folks, don't forget the sides. Twould be a rookie move, looking good to me. And as for these salmon steaks, they are in fact bone-in. You can see that big bone running right in there. And we've got some pin bones in there as well. And I'm gonna see if I can debone this real quick, simply by following this bone right down the middle here and kind of cutting along the sides. Just keeping some pressure against the bone so we take off as little meat as possible. And of course, you don't have to do this. You could just eat around the bones, which we may do on the other one, but a nice sharp knife definitely helps. And just like that, out the bones come. Don't need that in there. And then we're gonna go around and look at this thing for any pin bones we may have missed. Bust out your little pin bone tweezers. Just feeling around and pulling these out because we don't need that in there. Gonna open this guy up because the bones come all the way to the top here. Feeling around, feeling pretty boneless, except for a couple more of these pesky little pin bones. Don't wanna get that caught in your throat. And once the bones are removed, I'll go ahead and clean up this belly area a little bit. And then on one of these tails, I'm gonna do my best to try and remove some of the skin. Just kind of get right underneath it, upward pressure, and just zip that back a little bit. That way we can take this and kind of tuck it into the middle here and wrap this other piece all the way around for a nice presentation. Zip that skin off, roll it up nice and tight, just like that. And then bust out some butcher's twine and tie this up just so everything stays together. Loop it once, loop it twice, and tighten it up. Don't need to get too aggressive with how tight you tie it, just want it to stay together. Double knot, snip the tip, and there we have a beautiful deboned salmon steak ready for the grill. And once all tied up, looking beautiful, we're gonna go ahead and hit these with some Chuds BBQ poultry rub. Got a lot of lemon scents and herbs in there, which works incredibly well on fish. Nice healthy coating of that on both sides. You can try to hit the skin, but it's not gonna stick very well. Also, I wanna get that skin crispy, so we may forget the sides a little bit. Flip them over. Beautiful. And I will say that steak rub and poultry rub are definitely top 3 favorite Chuds BBQ rubs so far, but we want to rebrand them. So if you guys have any different names for steak rub and poultry rub that are a little more all-purpose sounding, because again, these are great on pretty much everything, let us know in the comment section down below, because we are struggling to come up with good names. What's our best name so far? Cockpit. I like cockpit for the poultry rub. I don't know, let us know in the comments. But now that all of our seafood steaks are rubbed down, I'm gonna pop these in the fridge for the next little bit, probably the same amount of time we're gonna marinate that tuna steak, just to let that rub kind of penetrate the meat and dry up a little bit and really stick to the meat more, allowing all that salt to penetrate and the flavor to develop. This video is brought to you by Graza. Graza makes some extremely high quality olive oils at an everyday affordable price, and I've been using them for years and could not be happier. They're always fresh, never blended oils, and it's a single origin, single varietal, ensuring the best quality. And when I first saw Graza hit the market, I was super pumped because for years I've been putting olive oil in these kind of squirt bottles, which is not the ideal way to store your olive oil because light can hit it, oxidizing it. There's no cap on top of this, which is also not great. And that is one of my favorite things other than the flavor about Graza, because they've got these nifty little squirt bottle tops. Very convenient. Also, no light gets through these bottles, ensuring a nice long shelf life, and they look good on the shelf as well. And Graza has pretty much replaced every oil on my shelf because they've got something for every occasion. They've got the sizzle, which is great for sauteing, think cooking down veg, getting a dish started, while still having amazing olive oil flavor. Then they've got drizzle, the good stuff. This is your really flavorful kind of finishing oil for salad dressings, dipping bread into, or anytime you want to add some really good flavor to a dish. And then they've got frizzle. This is their high heat oil that has replaced avocado oil for me. This is great for shallow frying, grilling, or anything that requires high heat, but all of these are still super high quality with great flavor and great for pretty much anything you're cooking. I've got the trio both here and at my house, and they're pretty much the only oils I use for any of my culinary needs. I've been using them for years, long before they sponsor this channel, and I will continue to do so into the future. So if you want to pick up the Graza trio for yourself, click my link in the description box of this video where using code CHUDS10 you can get 10% off your order. Again, link in the description, that's graza.com. Using code CHUDS10 you can get 10% off your order. Thank you, Graza. Whenever we're talking about seafood on a grill, you know we got to get some butter and some lemon involved somehow, so let's go ahead and knock out a couple quick sauces. Starting by going into an adorable little pot with a whole bunch of butter, as well as a squeeze of some Graza sizzle. This is going to give the butter a little bit higher of a smoke point while adding some wonderful flavor. And once up to a boil and all that water has cooked out of the butter and it's smelling very nice, we're going to go in with some garlic, as well as a pinch of some parsley, some chives, the zest of 1 lemon, and the juice of 1 lemon as well. And just get that all mixed up and let this infuse for a very nice garlicky, oniony, lemony butter, which should go perfectly on some grilled seafood. Just gonna bring this back up to a simmer, let that garlic toast away a little bit and make sure all these flavors are in fact infused. And our first sauce is done. And that butter we just made is more of a basting sauce for when the fish is on the grill, but now let's go ahead and make a sauce for when they come off. Starting by going into a pan with a nice fat squeezer of some Graza sizzle and in with 1 shallot. And get that cooking down. And once those have cooked down a little bit, starting to look translucent, we'll go in with some garlic. Kind of smells so good already. And get that toasted off as well. And after just a couple seconds, that garlic is smelling so good, starting to brown up just a little bit. So now we're gonna go in with some flour. And what we're making today is a piccata sauce. And I saw America's Test Kitchen do this a while back. And the theory is when you usually do a chicken piccata, the chicken breast is coated in flour and some of that stays behind in the pan, thickening the sauce. But because we're not doing that, we're gonna add just a little bit of Wonder flour at this stage, just to help give this sauce a little bit more body. But we're not really trying to make a roux or anything like that. But we're gonna cook this for just a minute or so to cook off the raw edge of that flour. And after about a minute, that is looking good. So now we're gonna go in with some capers. I did rinse these to make sure these aren't too salty. And we'll let those kind of fry a little bit in the hot oil. Go ahead and mash those up just a little bit to release all of their flavor. And then in with some dry white wine. Get that all mixed up and let that reduce down for about 2 minutes. And once that comes up to a boil, that flour will kind of activate, thickening this up quite a bit. Looking very nice, although it is looking a little thick. So I'm gonna go in with a splash of water just to thin it out a little bit. A couple tablespoons. Looking very nice, but to finish it off, we're gonna go in with some chopped up parsley, as well as some fresh dill. I think that'll pair very well with this seafood. Get that mixed in. And then the zest of 1 lemon, as well as the juice of, we'll do half a lemon. We can add more if we want it to be a little bit more tart. Followed by some freshly cracked black pepper. And then with the heat off, we're gonna go ahead and start chipping in some unsalted butter. And stir that to gently mix this all in for a nice velvety, rich sauce. And once your butter is fully melted in, we've got ourselves a nice, luxurious, tangy sauce here. I'm gonna let it cool down a little bit, and then we'll give it the final taste for seasoning, salt, dill, lemon, all that sort of stuff. But right off the bat. That tastes real good. So now we're gonna keep this warm until we need it. And now that our butter has cooled down a little bit, I'm gonna finish this off with a little bit of drizzle just to add a little bit of extra flavor before we go ahead and get those steaks on the grill. Can't go wrong with that, folks. And after about an hour or so in the fridge, out these come. I just pulled this guy out of its marinade and patted it dry, which I'm now realizing is a mistake because I was kind of relying on that tackiness to let the rest of the seasoning stick, but we can get around it by busting out some sizzle. I swear I did not plan that. But because we're using a chunky rub, we do need a binder today. And very cliche, but very tasty, we're going on with some everything bagel seasoning. So on our beautiful tuna, which has definitely changed color a little bit, I'm gonna go down with just a little bit of oil, just to make sure everything is nice and lubed up. And then in we go. Don't forget the sides. Oh yeah, beautiful coverage on that. It smells so good. And you can do whatever rub you like on this. I really do like the chunky rubs, like a sesame seed or anything with big chunks of dehydrated garlic or onion or something like that. Just helps add texture because we're really not gonna cook this for very long at all. It's pretty much gonna be raw on the inside, so having a nice crust on the outside with something like this works out very well. And at long last, with everything seasoned up and our sauce is made, I think it's time to fire up the pit. Got the old Chud grill fired up here. We got the grill grate and the griddle. I very well may take some of these coals and put them over to the griddle side to get a griddle sear if that's what we're feeling. But for now, I'm just gonna let this heat up, let this big, thick 1/4-inch grate get nice and toasty, and make sure all those coals are caught. Which gives us plenty of time for another episode of Bones Tries Something Weird. What's on the menu today, buddy?
It's not weird for me. Got some mackerel.
Mackerel, huh? It's been a minute since we did some mackerel.
I love mackerel.
I hear that. Every day. Ooh, what kind of mackerel is this?
So this is mackerel in chili tomato sauce.
Ooh, Taiwanese tomato mackerel?
Yeah.
Okay.
Little try. Ooh.
This is a good,
Okay.
Oh, wow.
I was not expecting that.
Is that bone in?
Oh yeah, bone in. All right.
Okay. It reminds me of the jellied eel from England.
Oh no, don't remind me of that.
That was rough.
Okay, there we go. All right, get some of that sauce in there. Pretty bland.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna eat the whole can, but they could have put more flavor in it.
Because it needs salt.
It needs salt. It needs spice. It's not mackerel-y enough.
All right. Well, let's see what we got here. Ooh, it's got a dense texture to it, huh? Definitely needs salt, which is weird.
It's like not fishy enough to be mackerel.
Yeah, the tomato really dialed it down.
Yeah.
It's good. It kind of tastes like tuna. Not weird. Not as weird as I would expect from the can there.
Yeah. I need weirder. I like a super fishy mackerel. This one was just kind of blundered.
Blundered. Better now? What'd you do?
I dumped snake bite on it.
A little more kick.
Much better. I approve.
Grill is nice and toasty. I'm going to go down with a nice generous spray of oil just to make sure nothing sticks. And I think I'm going to start out with one of these salmon guys. Ooh, just get a nice sear on there. Little bit of pressure, make sure everything is cooking evenly. Got my butter off to the side for later. In fact, I'm gonna move that because that grate sounded really hot. So I'm gonna go ahead and slide this over just to get it off the coals a little bit. Let the residual heat in the grates do the first bit of cooking. And I've never cooked a salmon steak all rolled up like this, but my fear is that it's gonna get a little bulbous. We might not get an even crust. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep pressing it just to make sure everything gets a little bit of contact. But we always got a sauce to cover this up if we have an uneven crust. But I will say, it's a beautiful evening out here for grilling some seafood. Might as well get our swordfish on there as well, right in the back here. That's where it's nice and toasty, so we should get a really good sear on that. And I think for all of these, except for the tuna, I'm gonna aim to pull these off around that 130, maybe 128 mark, because it'll carry over to get us that nice medium rare, so nothing's too overcooked and still nice and juicy. Thinking it's about time to flip these salmon, so I'm gonna go ahead and hit the top with a little bit of oil. That way we avoid stickage yet again and improve the crust. Oh yeah, that looks beautiful. Oh, lovely. I do love the presentation of the round salmon steak too. That looks really good. Take a peek back here. Oh, yes, please. Ooh, that is some good looking swordfish right there, folks. And now that these are all flipped over, I'm gonna bust out our butter that we made, our garlicky butter. And I'm just gonna go ahead and kind of start painting the top of these bad boys. A little extra flavor, might kick up some flames a little bit to give us a nice crust on the bottom as well. Oh my goodness, how is this not gonna be good? Just paint it all over. Probably do that a couple times. Okay, that's a little too much flame. Beauty of the Chud grill, very convenient. Get this swordfish skin crisped up a little bit. Take a look at these. Oh yeah, looking good. This might be the new way I grill salmon. Loving how that's looking. And after getting the color I'm after, I move these over to the griddle side, which is the cool side of the grill where they'll continue to carry over. The only problem is these salmon steaks are really delicate, so I don't think I'll be able to get a really good crisp on the skin, but I'm okay with that. So I'm gonna give these one more little dunk of some of our garlic butter and probably close this lid down and let them continue to come up in temp. But before I shut that down, these are rocking about 97, 98, 115, 110 internal, so it shouldn't take long for those to carry up a little bit. And just like that, after a couple of minutes, these have come up to temp, so off they come. Again, rocking right around 130 internal. Should carry up another couple degrees though, for a nice kind of high end of medium rare, you know? And now that this side of the grill is in fact ripping hot yet again, down we go with a little more spray oil, and it's time to sear off our tuna, which is gonna be really quick. Gonna press this down with my little pot here, just to make sure we get some nice even crust on there. But again, we're just trying to get a really quick sear, but not really cook the inside all that much. And after about 45 seconds, I'm gonna go ahead and spray the top down to prevent sticking and again, encourage browning. And we'll go ahead and flip this over and sear the other side. And you know, just because I've got it, we'll go down with a little butter on top of this guy as well. Oops, not gonna lie folks, I think that one might be chalked up to a fail. Maybe the flat top would have been a better choice than the grill because a lot of the seeds fell off and we didn't get a very good sear, but I bet it'll still taste good. And we still got these beauties. And just like that folks, fresh off the pit, we've got ourselves a lovely seared swordfish, some salmon steaks, and of course, our lovely tuna. I think it's time to slice on in and see how these came out. To get started, I think I'm gonna start with this swordfish, and I gotta say, that is a really nice looking piece of swordfish right there. Nick, is swordfish skin edible?
I don't know.
Yes? Will you Google that real quick?
No.
No?
It's generally not recommended.
All right, I'm gonna take that off. Oh, look at that, peels right off. Very convenient. Oh, that feels so tender. I've had a lot of swordfish in my day, but usually it's pretty dry and pretty tight. But this one is looking real nice. It's cutting like straight butter. Weight of the knife doing the job. Set that all shingled out right over now. Then we'll go into this tuna steak because it's right here. Gotta love a tuna steak. It looks the most like a steak as far as seafood is concerned. Very delicate though. Hard to get clean slices out of it. And last but not least, we'll cut into this beautiful salmon steak. Starting by removing that string. And we'll get some nice clean slices out of it, in theory. My God, you can't even tell that's pink on camera. But it is beautiful. Right off the bat, I will say, I'm liking the cooking style of these salmon steaks, but carving them up, they are just shredding apart. So definitely more of a serve it whole knife and fork situation. But to finish off those salmon, we're gonna top it off with our lovely piccata sauce because I think that's just gonna taste really good. Smells good in here, tell you that much, boys.
Sure does.
Beautiful. And there we finally have it, folks, all plated up. The steaks of the sea are ready to enjoy. Beautiful little parsley garnish on that salmon, but I think it's time to see how these taste. Boys.
Yes.
Can I interest you in some steaks of the sea?
Steaks of the sea. I'm excited about swordfish and tuna, but who would I be to not try some Bradley Robinson salmon?
It's like pulled salmon if you look at it real close. The carving did not go well.
Kind of fell apart, but it looks delicious.
It does. I mean, for me, honestly, I'm going for the swordfish just because, like, look how juicy that
That
is.
is really juicy.
I'll get
I've
in
never
swordfish
seen
with
a
you.
juicy swordfish.
Oh.
Yeah, me neither.
Wow.
I've also never cooked a swordfish for myself. Every time I had it growing up, no offense, Mom and Dad, it was a little dry.
That's crazy good.
Which one?
The swordfish.
Whoa!
I've never had swordfish fall apart in my mouth like that.
That melted like Wagyu.
Melted.
That's
That was
crazy.
amazing.
Okay, add swordfish to my new favorite
We're
foods.
off to
And
a
the
good
flavor
start
on that
for
crust.
fish with Adam.
Wow.
Adam's not really a fish guy.
Yeah, that's right. Adam's not the biggest seafood lover, but maybe we'll convert him today. That is so much different than every other swordfish I've ever had.
Oh, God.
Is this always overcooked?
That is so good.
What'd you cook it to?
Pulled it at like 130, carried up to like 138,
Takes
140.
See,
Yeah.
winning right now.
Wow.
Wow.
It's so juicy.
Jesus, it's got a really good grill flavor to it too.
Yeah. I want to keep
They're
eating the
good.
swordfish, but I'm going to switch it up.
I'm curious about this tuna as well with that soy sauce marinade to see how much impact that made on it.
Seared tuna's never bad.
Wow.
Holy cow. Give me more of that.
Yep. Oh, that everything bagel seasoning on there. I was a little hesitant about that. But
Yeah.
it's really good.
You can't go wrong with a good tuna steak, in my opinion. This is also like the highest quality tuna steak I think I've ever seen. And the color of it out of the package was ridiculous. So tender, perfectly seasoned.
Oh, just the hint of the everything bagel is amazing.
The garlic, sesame,
Yeah.
and that soy sauce marinade.
Yeah.
It was like,
Cook things so perfect, sir.
It's all because of that Chud grill. I'm still down. I could eat that tuna every day of my life.
Every day.
It's just perfectly pleasant. Salt is right there, flavorful. You got a little crunch. It's very soft as a meat. I like the flavor of it. I love salmon. I love piccata. I've never cooked it in, deboned steak form before.
I don't really understand how to get into it, but I'm just gonna go for some
Get into
right
it.
here.
Very, very tender.
Also very good.
That's really nice with the sauce on there. It brings that acidic saltiness to it. Pairs very well with the fish.
capers and lemon together.
Oh yeah, definitely making that sauce again. That's perfect for fish.
Oh,
Yeah, it's definitely knife and fork fish.
Yes,
That's
this is not
steak.
this is not finger food.
Yeah.
All three amazing. Salmon is my least favorite of the three, though.
But you're just not a salmon fan.
So the reason I usually don't like fish is because of fishy taste, which none of these have. If there was a hint of fishy taste on any of them, it'd probably be the swordfish, but it's still it's like
Yeah.
Yeah.
it hits right.
I came into this thinking that I'd like the tuna the most. And I also cook salmon a lot. I really don't cook swordfish often, so I think that's kind of the sleeper winner for me today.
Dude, swordfish is so good.
It's also the steakiest, right?
Yeah.
Texture-wise.
But it melts.
I'm blown away that it melts like it does.
That's wild.
It's crazy.
Definitely, like, you can just see how juicy it is. Oh, I'm
It's
not sure.
pork belly texture.
It
really is pork
It
belly.
really is.
It is.
All this time, just don't overcook your swordfish.
Who knew?
I didn't know we would be smashing all of this fish. I thought I was gonna have like a bite. It's crazy.
Fishes.
All right, let's go to the store. We're getting more swordfish. And with this very last bite of swordfish, I think it is time for the official taste test. All right, y'all, and that is it. That is how to make some absolutely fantastic seafood steaks on the grill. I highly recommend giving this one a try, When done properly, some seafood steaks really does hit the spot. You still get that muscle memory and that charcoal flavor of grilling a steak, but it's not nearly as heavy. You can introduce some new flavor profiles, and it makes for some great summer grilling or a perfect weeknight dinner, and I'm definitely gonna go get another swordfish steak, probably tomorrow, because that was so damn good. I just need to have another one. But all that being said, if you enjoyed this video, let me know by hitting that subscribe button. Let YouTube know by dropping a like on this video. If you give any of these recipes a try for yourself, be sure to tag me on Instagram at Chuds BBQ. I'd love to see what y'all are cooking. Big shout out to all the Team Chud members. Thank you for supporting this channel and allowing me to keep making all these videos. And until the next time I see you, please go cook something outside. Peace.